What's up, everybody? It is your girl Q1, and I am back with Belle Collective, Season 7, Episode 9, and a cliffhanger. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the video so I can stay in the algorithm. Dear Carlos Jontavius King, I don't know your middle name. In the OWN network, in them. Can y'all please get y'all episodes together? Because it clearly stated episode 10 when this is episode 9. Thank you. Anyway, so the episode starts with a double date with the Pearsons and the Rogers, of course. Cliff said in his confessional, food brings people together. He planned a double date to try to get the wives back together and to find out what's going on between them, and that they're gonna, have food as a family to bring everybody back together. Okay. Anyway, Glenn tells Letitia he married her because of them nasty ass glory greens and them fried pork chops she made in season 1. And I just want to go on the record to say I can't stand these two hoes. Latrice can't cook. Glendale then asked if the polenta that the man was making, is it the stuff that comes out of the woman after she have the baby? Food, that's the placenta. And take it, and maybe he could have been playing, but for me, it is always Letitia who comes in her confessional and say, because y'all know she been sitting like this the whole confessional. Glendale always playing around. She didn't say that exactly, but that's what she did. And that's what she said, because she be pissing me off. She always take up for this raggedy ass, strong face ass nigga. Okay? Anyway, so Latrice said she want to have a baby. Clip was like, girl, what? Like, I asked you to have a baby with me 3 years ago, and you ain't want to drop no babies for me, and so now you want to have a baby? Baby, I don't want to have no babies. I don't want to get up with the wham, 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 and the wah, wah, wah. Not me. Get somebody else to do it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And when she was talking about the kids, it was like he was looking at her. He was like, that lady don't want no kids. But she said since Cliff left her in the hospital, she want to have a kid because Cliff Arella would never leave her. And the fact that you want to name your child Cliff Arella is more of a reason why you should not be having a child. Okay? Your baby is going to be looking like Cliff with a bow. Okay? Y'all better stop having kids for these old ass men. When your baby be coming out looking like Benjamin Buttons. Okay, don't say I ain't warned you. I'm just playing. I'm not, but I'm just playing. Sorry, y'all. Don't unsubscribe to my channel. I'll be just playing, okay? He tired and he old. So, Letitia apparently ain't touching Glendale's community meat. The only meat she touching is the brazzoli. That's what they call that? The brazzoli. Brazzoli. So, Glendale is probably bugging another woman because he is not to be trusted. He said that he cleared his clarity in the bedroom. Anyway, I look at Letitia's Instagram, and it gives, we still together and we still fuck. Okay, enjoy the low life while you can. So, Letitia decided to call Carrie a flip flopper. Latrice said she felt some type of way when she blamed Cliff, who actually told Matt and admitted that he told Matt. Like, I'm not understanding what y'all doing here, but the fact that y'all are trying to make Carrie the scapegoat says one of y'all. It was a scheme and a scam because towards the end of this episode, Cliff is going to admit that he told his wife, girl, baby, if I was Selena, the way I would cuss all of y'all out. Anyway, so at this point, yeah, they just trying to make Carrie the scapegoat, and I don't like it, and I don't like these little passive aggressive digs or whatever towards Carrie. It's giving Willie and Akeisha all over again. But I digress. So Carrie, her mom, and Matt sit down at Brick and Spoons. And when I tell y'all Matt is fine as a motherfucker. I don't listen. I try not to be picky. Okay? But if the Lord ever want to do me a solid and send me a lighter, brighter, fair skinned person, man, I don't mind if he look like Matt and built like Matt. I don't mind that at all. So apparently she had a potential buyer for Brick and Spoons, but they backed out. And so her restaurant is still on the market. And as long as people are working, she has to pay people. She has to do all of the things. So she's now using her influencer money, which is like 5 figures, on Brick and Spoons. And she needs a buyer ASAP. So they ask Carrie, like, what is the next step? Matt tells her, like, you have to know when enough is enough. And her mom said, we're telling you this advice, but it's just going over your head because you want to hear what you want to hear. And Carrie has to pay like 20 employees. And the fact that you're keeping them here instead of maybe giving them some type of stipend, and I get why she feels away, because I guess in this economy she don't want to piss people off and all of the things. But again, you said that you guys are hemorrhaging money, and so that's putting a strain on your household. Whether y'all have it or not, it's not okay to be able to. It looks as if you're throwing money away. And so her mom was like, listen, it's better to rent than to be in this position. Until you find somebody to buy it, you're going to have to pay the rent for the space. But you definitely have to do what you have to do. I felt like they was really giving Carrie good advice. And so she was saying how she had multiple streams of income. But the problem with that is you could be seeing some of that income instead of all of it. And that's because you're using those multiple streams to take care of your Brick and Spoon. And so you're going to have to make a decision. And sometimes with a business, it does flop. It doesn't make you a failure. But I also understand you, again, as I stated a moment ago, you don't want to disappoint people, but that's the way of business. Like when you have to downsize, you have to let people go. And so you're going to have to let these people go. So, yeah. So then we get to Latrice and Cliff. She said her husband jokes about having a vasectomy, and I was like, he wasn't playing. I don't understand. She was like, I don't play that. I don't understand why they shouldn't have a vasectomy. Y'all should get a vasectomy. The fact that a lot of people go around, and this is not Cliff. Cliff has children, and I'm sure that they're grown. He's a grandfather. I wish we could see more of Cliff and his children and all of that, but I guess. Let me say this. Just a little side note real quick. There was a picture on the wall with Cliff and Latrice, and I thought that picture was really, and her confessional look with that black and white. Yeah, I was like, girl, yeah, you gave 70s beauty queen. She looked good, y'all. She looked good. So I just feel like people should get vasectomies. It's easier to get a vasectomy maybe and get it reversed than it is to get your tubes tied, burned, clipped, all of that. Like, we have to go through so much and we are down for so long when we have all of these things done. Whereas you get a snip, you're down for about a couple days, and then you're back to your regularly scheduled program. That's all I'm saying. So they have a chit chat thanks to TikTok. She says she finds everything on TikTok, so she did an exercise with Cliff. So they grabbed some chairs, sat together, and discussed their angst that they have amongst with each other. So just when we thought Cliff was coming off a little, just showing a more decent, reasonable side, he decided to show his ass just a smidget. So Latrice tells him, I'm going to be down for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. And there are things that I have to do for my business. And Cliff said, listen, you mostly are on a computer. I'm sure you can handle that. He said, you're not operating heavy equipment and all you do is push buttons. So what's the big deal? Anyway, they argue about his whereabouts. When she was in the hospital, she said he left and when he got drunk, she said she saw the tape. And he said that he did not do that. And she said it was their anniversary. It was their anniversary, and it was also her birthday. And she felt like he could have went and grabbed some flowers or something. But instead, he went to Taste, got drunk, went to that Airbnb, and was there. Lord. And he said, you have to, she was like, you have to think, give me some flowers or do something nice for me, but you shouldn't have done that. He was like, well, men don't think like women. And I just, Lord, don't ever send me around. Don't send me a friend. Don't send me a male friend, male foe, male nothing that only thinks one way. When they're thinking it's tunnel vision, yeah, please don't. Do not send me a one-dimensional person. Thank you. Amen. Anyway, she said that Cliff takes she says that Cliff takes everything as a joke, and she thinks that this is a coping mechanism. But what I don't think it's a joke. I think Cliff is serious in how he thinks. I think Cliff is one of those men that are set in their ways, and he's going to do and say what he wants to do and say. So anyway, Selena and Tamra meet. I don't know why I say her. I think I say her name like that because of the way she talks. So Selena, she got her new teeth in her mouth. She said that she had high blood pressure and she doesn't take any of her meds. She said that she didn't think she had to inform the doctor of that before the surgery. So when they were giving her the anesthesia, her blood pressure was like sky high. So they was only able to give her some. And she was like, I didn't know I had to say that. And I was like, yeah, like you really have to say that. You really have to take your medicine. And I am one because I am just now learning. Like being 43, my body is a whole lot different. Things that I can't have it at a certain time at night. Like certain things, and it will just make my head hurt to and beyond. So yeah. So with Selena, I'm glad that she did get her teeth done. However, this is just another lesson learned. Like, hey, you're going to have to disclose all of your information. So Tamra tells her about the 7C, and they talk about the rumor that, what's her name? That girl, Shantae, brought to the ladies. And at the end of the day, the women in y'all friend group are messy. Like, either y'all gonna be here or y'all not, but this is what y'all gonna get. They are not gonna change. So then the men meet up. All the men meet up. Glendale, messy ass, decided to bring Mike a diaper bag and some diapers. Mike, if I was Mike, I would have got your ass some condoms. Okay? Anyway, Cliff admits that he told his wife. So Mike was like, okay, conversation over. Matt, now I noticed Matt didn't say anything the whole time. He was listening and enjoying, and Matt is very reserved. Okay, just don't tell your wife, because your wife is a little messy. Okay, she talks too much. But I like Carrie. Overall, I really like Carrie. And so Cliff keeps saying the women gossip more than men. And I'm like, Cliff, please. Like, what are we talking about? Y'all have been sitting here gossiping way more. Well, I mean, he keeps saying, how the women are the Bells. And I'm just like, Cliff, that gets old. So Mike tell the guys about Selena's health scare. And, he was like, he's just glad that she's good. And so she said that when they asked Selena, did she have any infections and all of that, he said that Selena thought that she meant like STIs, STDs, all of those things, not thinking that meant that, high blood pressure and all of that. And so he said they had to give her half of the antibiotics, half here and half there, and that she looked like an alligator. So, y'all, production put a picture of Selena with an alligator, like an alligator version of Selena. The way I hollered, I was like, y'all, it's messy. So Matt the guys started talking again. They sat down and they had a little chit chat. So Matt he looked a little uninterested. And so Cliff was telling the men about his wife and the troubles that's happening amongst the women. And Matt got in his confessional and said they definitely needed some subtitles. So it's like, oh my God. The way, y'all, when Matt said it, I literally hollered. I was like, my God, on today. Yeah, because Cliff do need subtitles sometimes. I'd be like, what? Like, I don't know if he thought that what he said was a bar. And it was the way Matt was looking. And I think the way Matt was looking, it was like, I'm trying to understand you. So I think he was more like, huh? Like, how you're looking at somebody and you can't understand it. So you don't want to be rude and keep saying, huh? So you just look at them very intensely and you be like, I guess that's just me. That ain't y'all. That's something I do. No, I ain't gonna hold y'all. When I can't understand somebody, I be like, what? Or huh? What you said? And then they get mad because I can't understand their, the way they talk. And I be like, I can't understand that. I don't understand what you say. I'm just saying, like, Cliff, I will work Cliff nerves just by, huh? I'm sorry, Lord. Anyway, they bring up the Amanda situation. Glenn, I really do think Glenn started talking about, how he wouldn't have never allowed things to go down the way Cliff had things go down at their home when Amanda said what she said. And I definitely think Glendale, Amanda, and I'm going to stand on that. I'm going to stand on that hill. And Glendale, you are not to be trusted. Cliff also says that Glendale needs to take responsibility if they, in order to make your wife happy, there are some things that you just going to have to do. You're going to have to start by taking responsibility for what you've done in this entire situation. Okay? So the guys was like, we need to do a guys trip. We need to do a trip to Colombia. Did they say Colombia? A bachelor party. So yeah. And then we get to Latrice and Stormy. So we usher in Stormy, which was the last scene, and they talked about where they came from, and they really affirm each other, and they have a good time. They are actually having good conversation. They talking about, Stormy tells Latrice that she needs to take up more space in this world, because Latrice was telling her about how the neighbors in her neighborhood having an issue with her restaurant, and they trying to, it's a lot of challenges that she's having. And she was like, you got to continue to take up more space in this world. And so Stormy posed the question. She was like, are they clear people? And Latrice was like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. Because I think if it was other clear people, I don't think those people would have a problem with it. But because it's Taste, and because it's a lot of Taste is more of a black, black people frequent there. There is the, they have an issue with that. So Latrice now wants to cancel her fibroid surgery because she has to let Cliff know what's going on. She feel like she needs to train him and all of that. Stormy tells her, hey, don't do that. You need to go ahead and set up your surgery. And whatever you can do it. If you have people in place, put those people in place to help you do the things that you need to do. This is where the episode ended. Next week, Tam gonna bust the piss out of Shantae. Okay? No, they not. They gonna argue. But somebody need to beat the piss out of Shantae because y'all know I don't like that hoe. Okay? Anyway, with all that being said, y'all check out my Belle Collective Birmingham video right after this. And this is your girl Q1 reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.